There's a part of me that thinks that, you know, the back and forth between drivers on social media or the things that get said about, you know, this guy intentionally brake checked me or whatever, only to find out that, you know, the driver admits that it was a car malfunction and that it wasn't intentional, because there's no question that there was a tension between them and in the general fan base from Denofa and Forsberg incident in Seattle last year. So when we started to see that in round number 2 that they were going to be facing each other, and we heard what Chelsea said coming out of round number 1 about how he was going to change his driving style, and then we saw Chris's kind of reaction to that from Lorette in the interview.
Okay, and you're going to see battle against Chelsea Denofa. What are your expectations there?
Well, based on what he was saying last night, he's going to kind of go for it, and he's not going to listen to the FD rules or judges, and he's driving his own way. So I'm not quite sure what that means. So I'm just going to do my best, and we'll see what happens.
Chris, good luck.
Thank you.
Jared, Ryan, back to you.
Thank you, Lorette. And like I said, those guys have history going against each other. I kind of like it, man. This is like WWF.
I know that Chelsea said ahead of time, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to drive the way I want. I'm not going to listen to them. And I think people misinterpreted the them as the judges. So perhaps it was his team, perhaps it was somebody in his inner circle that told him, you need to chill out a little bit, just, back off a little. And in that battle, he didn't back off, as he said he wouldn't, and he ended up winning the event.
Like, I've been doing this for 17 years. I know what to do in the chase. I don't really need to worry about what they're doing, if they're doing something different or whatever. So, stop worrying about what they're doing. What they're doing to me is wrong. So I'm just going to drive how I want to drive and then chase them the way I need to chase them. Instead of setting the car up different and trying to adapt to other people, I just said, screw it, and I'm just going to do it myself. So Chris has always been a phenomenal driver. We've definitely had our differences. I've been into the side of his car more times than I can remember in acceleration zones and whatnot. We've had our beefs and whatnot, but we're all out here to drive, try to do the best we can and win. So nothing's really changed when it's time to drive. And I got to battle him in top 16 in St. Louis, which was basically the battle for the win. The rest of my bracket was really good, but Chris was killing it that weekend. He had the fastest car, and he was on point doing everything he needed to be. So I was like, I need to chase really, really good, and my lead run needs to be so much better than his. And that's basically what we did. We had good chases, a couple small mistakes here and there in the chase, really, really, really strong lead runs, and he had a couple small mistakes in the chase, and we ended up getting it one more time.
On my next run, I wanted to make sure that I was nice and tight at the initiation, and so I kicked it in, and the car didn't rotate as quick as I wanted to, and the front end started to wash out, and I kind of got lost in the smoke, and then I just basically came out of that turn too early, so transferred too soon. So it's unfortunate, getting lost in the smoke is one of the dumbest ways to go out, but that's part of the sport, so you got to push through it and come out in the right spot on the other side.
And I think it was just based off really, really good lead runs, strong chases, and not smashing into everybody, letting them do their differences and then driving right onto their door. Because once everybody's on throttle and doing everything, it's pretty much the same. It's just how you get to each section that's different. So I was just focusing on making sure I had good proximity to those points and then closing it where we needed to.
The vehicle, here we go. Denofa out front. Forsberg in the chase position, a little flick there from Denofa. Big angle from Chelsea out front. Chris Forsberg falling back quite a bit, maybe getting lost in the smoke. A tighter line there from Forsberg, way shallow on that front clip from Chris. Denofa filling all that third outside zone. And here comes Chris on that fourth, and he loses it on the transition. And Denofa delivers out front right.
I loved the chase all the way to the turnaround. That was the best.
Yeah, oh, that got weird. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. I pulled the ear I'm like, I'm going to hit
I went wide, so I'm like, go pass on the inside. It'll be sweet. I would have been like, that worked out really good. Yeah, I think that Chris and I could be friends. I mean, I think we're all good. We've had a couple chats since then. I mean, I'm not going to bring you into all of the drama and all that, but it's, we're all out here doing it. We're killing ourselves to make all this happen, and I have mad respect for him for that aspect. Some of his driving I'm not a fan of, and, that doesn't mean I can't be friends with him still.
So I think part of this we have to kind of take with a grain of salt, right? It's basically professional athletes, boxers, MMA fighters, kind of boosting up something that maybe isn't really, really there. But when they go home at the end of the night and they sit down and they say, did he really brake check me? And if they're honest with themselves, they're probably thinking no, right? And maybe that's something that they squash behind scenes and it's no longer an issue anymore. I don't know. I think part of this is just, this is what happens in sports.